Okay, I'm just gonna throw up these presentations in case you don't have PowerPoint. So here's our random sampling, where each sample is chosen by chance. Every potential participant has an equal chance of becoming part of the sample, so that's random sampling. Simple random sampling. So in a class of 10 students, how can you pick a random sample of 4? So let's see. Can you just pick 4 random people? Can 4 people volunteer? No, then it won't be random. So here's an example. You could number each student 1 through 10. Now you could use a spinner, a 10-sided die, or pick numbers from a hat, or use a random number generator and pick 4 numbers. Then that way you ensure that each student has an equal chance of being selected. So that's a simple random sample. This is just showing that according to this person, 1, 4, 5, and 7 will be chosen at random. And that's the end of that one. Okay, representative sampling. Let's do this one. What is the average height of the math leaf flower? To find the average height of the math leaf flower, we have decided to randomly select and measure the heights of 5 out of 10 plants. We would still like a random sample, but some plants are in the sun and some are in the shade. The plant's location will affect its growth height. To ensure a sample that represents the entire population, we'll split the plants into 2 groups, and sometimes that's called strata. So in this case, like the class of 10 kids, these plants are kind of split into 2 groups, sun and shade. So we want to make sure we pick some from the sun group and some from the shade group. We don't want to do totally random selection. So now they're randomly selected from each strata, or from each group, proportional to the number of plants in each strata. So since there's only 4 in the sun group and 6 in the shade group, we'll sample 2 from the sun and 3 from the shade to make a sample of 5. And then you can do it the same way, number each plant, and then use a whatever random number generator, etc., to pick them. So this is representative or stratified sampling. And PS, there's like a ton more types of sampling techniques, but you don't need to learn about them in grade 9. So you'll learn about them in grade 12 management, data management. Okay, bias. When you survey a sample of a population, you use the results to make an inference or a claim about the entire population. To get the best results, you want to eliminate any bias from the sampling technique. It's an unintended influence on the results of a survey or experiment. There are several types: response bias, selection bias, non-response bias, and other types. Response bias occurs when the question asked can influence the response given. So if someone asks you, do you really think that chocolate is good for you? It makes you think that it's not, which probably is not. Gym class is fun. What's your favorite class? So you shouldn't really ask that. Put that first part in there. Okay, selection bias occurs when entire groups are eliminated from the survey or experiment. An example of selection bias is when only girls in a class are asked to participate in the survey when the study is about the entire class, so all the boys are getting left out. Non-response bias occurs when people do not complete or return a survey. Other forms of bias can occur depending on the study or experiment. For example, if you're doing an experiment with several basketballs, you will want to ensure that all of the balls have been inflated to the same level. Otherwise, you may obtain biased results. When you're conducting a study or doing an experiment, try to eliminate bias and always consider its possible impact on the outcome of the experiment. Okay, so that just covers all 3 of these presentations in case you're having trouble viewing it.